I guess I could at least do an introduction. So today is Sunday, October 31st, 2021. It is Halloween. It's about 8:44 a.m. now. I started my outside work about 8 o'clock a.m. Part of my task was to complete my outside sign, to get rid of all these pine needles, and to cut the grass. The grass doesn't really need cutting, but I'm going to do it. It's 57 degrees here in Valdosta, Georgia. The low temperature today is 47 degrees. The high temperature is 71 degrees. Sunrise was at 6:48 a.m., but I typically, no, 7:48 a.m., but I typically don't get started outside until 8 o'clock a.m. because it gives it enough time for there to be enough light to actually do things. Sunset today is going to be, I think it's 6:48 p.m. But typically I'm able to stay outside until 7 p.m. because it's still light enough for me to work and get things done. Um, I'm comfortable with what I'm wearing. I'm not comfortable with these glasses because they have a stark contrast to everything. If you guys know me, I'm pretty simple, pretty basic and comfortable. Tights are always comfortable for me when I'm doing at home work because they're stretchable, breathable. I can move around. An old raggedy t-shirt, which is literally a rag, is always comfortable for me because again, I can get it dirty if I want to paint and things like that. I can do that. For those of you that haven't seen me in a while, which is everybody, because I have intentionally been off camera. I did the big chop and shaved my head like completely bald, like skin bald, like in I want to say I want to say the middle of August. It was skin bald, like skin bald. This is powder that you guys see. Skin bald, and slowly it's growing back. And I did that because my hair it was over processed from all the bleaching and dyeing and coloring. And so now in my old age, I'm 45. I'll be 46 on December 15th. I'm starting anew. I'm going to no more color, no more dyes, even though I have plenty of it, but it's not for me. I'll sell it online or something like that. What I did notice, my hair growing back, I have a patch of gray here. Um, the reason my hair looks like this now is because I conditioned it this morning. And so it's still a little damp, but when it's dry, it looks like a little regular afro. Y'all will see it because y'all are going to be seeing a lot of me in the next few days. But yeah, I have a little gray patch here and a little, you can't see because the water kind of highlights it off. But yeah, so still me. And of course, my favorite raggedy bra that has gone through some things. I think it has probably a hole in the back. It's a T strap and so comfortable and it snaps in the front. But, anyways, I'm probably going to change my glasses for my own aesthetic desires and going to get started with the yard work. I started blowing some of the pine needles, but now what I'm finding is that you see there's like a little weed thing or something there. I need to pull that out before I've been leaving it there, but an ant mound or something has grown under it. So I think I really need to cut or pull it out. And I'm going to trim some of the hedges, some of the hedges and the bushes over here. Going to trim some of that up. And I want to go over the grass with the weed trimmer. I want to go over the grass with the weed trimmer, but I don't really know for sure if that's going to happen immediately because after I finish breaking up like the big piles of pine needles and reblowing it again to make sure there's nothing on the concrete, and then pulling up the roots of the weeds and trimming the bushes. I think then I'm gonna start working on my outdoor sign. So again, it's gonna be really quiet here. You can talk amongst yourselves. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I think all of our lives is a journey towards self love. I came to a point recently where, and this is a question that I've had for myself for a little bit, but even more so recently. What if nobody loves you? Will you still love yourself? Meaning, what if you know how they have those crime documentaries and crime shows or shows about somebody ending up missing, and they'll say, "Oh, I'll make up some name. Rodriguez Davis was really loved by her coworkers, her friends, her family, her neighborhood, and people said that she was this, that, and the other." What if you don't have anybody to say those things about you? What if legitimately nobody would ever say those things about you? I think that if, God forbid, I mean, I enjoy my life and I plan to be here until God sends me home. And I'm very fortunate to be heading towards 46 and haven't been in any real harm's way outside of natural occurrences and things like that. But, you know, I know for sure that if they did one of those shows on me, they wouldn't say, "Oh, Maria Willoughby was greatly loved and adored." They wouldn't say that. Nobody, literally nobody knows and about me, or nobody cares. And if they did, it wouldn't be any sentiment like that. And it's not necessarily, I'm not a well-known or well-liked person. And it's just what it is. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It just means that I'm different from the norm. So with that being said, feel free to ask any questions. There are people here and subscribers that are here. Um, the majority of those people, I can probably tell you, are from my days when I went through my whole issue, when I went through that journey. It was a good 10, 15-year journey from like '07 to maybe '15. Well, majority of those came between '07 and '13, but those came from places and situations that I've been in. People were just being nosy, which is okay, you know. But I invite you, even if you're one of those persons that you may have worked with me in the past, we may have lived in communal livings in the past because of a situation that I've gone through. You may know of me in passing, or maybe even far back as youth or growing up. Feel free to comment. You can remain anonymous. Feel free to ask questions, because that's one of the things that really, with growth and development, it's not just for me, it's about us as a community. So if you have questions, feel free to ask, even if it's a trolling question, if even if it's something that you might feel that you might have an aversion to asking, feel free to ask, because I don't have an aversion to answering it. And when you know what people's assumptions are and you know what people's beliefs are about you, or questions are, because sometimes people are only exposed to the lifestyles that they're accustomed to living and the people that they're accustomed to seeing, and they believe people behave or react based on what they're used to seeing or what's publicized. But we need to get to the realness of it and see that people are different, you know and sometimes we can find treasure and value in that. With that being said, I am going to get started. Again, please do not be afraid to leave comments or questions. This will be a mostly quiet stream because I got work to do, but I will check comments and questions, periodically, and those that I can address live, I will. Which by the time I answer them, you probably will be long gone. But I will also take time to create separate little videos in regards to that. And like I said, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me lately. You can ask me about anything, um, just to give you a state of where I am now. Like I always say, I believe a person is made up of mental, social, physical, financial, spiritual. So, and you can share about yourself too. Share about challenges that you're going through or what you have planned and what your goals are. I have different things, different places, and some places are non-traditional just because those are the quickest way to try to find people that are looking for things. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give you a rating of everything. Mentally, I would give myself a 5 because I'm not where I want to be. What I consider to be something on the higher scale of mental acuity is when you're taking those things that are in tune with your mental and you're manifesting them into the real world. So I'm working on that. A lot of times I think when we are, I call it the slave mode, when we're working for someone or doing something in someone else's capacity, you're not fully able to live up to or build your own capacity because you're kind of in the motions of whatever it is that these other entities would like for you to do or create or be. So I'll say 5. By the end of the day, I should be at 8 because I'm going to get a lot done. Today's my first day being able to take care of these personal things that I want to take care of. Socially, y'all already know I'm a 0. And I hate to say it, but I think actually socially I'm a proud 0 because a lot of the things that I see people do and behave and assumptions that I made, I think it really deaders or kills, um, the goals that I have in mind. It's not in alignment with a lot of things that I like. I don't like manipulation. I, I don't like anything negative. I'm very sensitive to that. So socially, I'm a 0. I know it, and I hate to say it because probably this is probably the downfall of the mental part. Is I'm proud to be a 0. Proud to be a 0. But I do understand that, and that's why the businesses came to play, because I do understand that in order to survive in this world and make it, you have to have some form of Machiavellianism, some form of manipulation. I remember watching these shows because when I went through the legal thing, the judge was just like, oh, do you even watch law shows and all that? No, I didn't. But because of the way I carried it, they falsely believed that I did, but I didn't. And what I saw was, it was one lady that really gets on my nerves. I don't watch these shows anymore because it was just because of that segment of time. But she would say how this person, like something was wrong with somebody because they didn't have the capacity to lie, you know? But some people are pure hearted and pure spirited. That's not a bad thing, you know? Um, so socially a zero. I'm so proud of that. I said it like 5 times. I'm so proud that I'm a social zero. But when it comes to parts of where I absolutely need to, like to network for my own business and things like that, that'll come up. And to me, that's the only um, plausible reason why I would want to be anything more than a zero in today's society. So mentally five, socially zero, financially I would say zero because there's a lot. If you don't have everything that you want or need, and so I'll say zero financially. Um, Spiritually, I would give myself on a scale of 1 to 10. I would give myself a 4 because I'm pretty good spiritually, but there's a breakthrough section. I think in order to be really good spiritually, you have to be able to interact with others and bring people into the fold. I mean, that's a big part of spirituality, because we're all one. And to be able to be part of that one and grow and develop that one with the big O around us, that's when you fully arrive with spirituality. So I talked about social, mental, financial, spiritual, physical. As you can see, I am overweight, but I'm working on it. I feel like I'm a healthy overweight. So again, 1 to 10, still on that low scale. I give myself 4 or 5 because I can definitely work on gaining more muscle mass. Things that I can say that I'm grateful for. Things that I can say that I'm grateful for. Um, I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for being alive. Recently, there was a situation where I really should not or could have been eliminated from this earth very easily. And when you think about it, people that are loners in general, it's easy for them to just vanish and nobody know. Um, so, uh, so yeah, I'm thankful for that being alive. I have a lot of situations in my life where you can see a definite, that there's definitely something bigger in place working. Things that shouldn't have come to be. Um, of course, in the end, when God decides to step back a little bit, you can see where it comes back to the carnal world. But there's definitely a reasoning for it. My dreams and things, yeah, I've had them recently, and I'm going to tell you, physiologically, different things have happened. Like recently, I've had a dream, maybe a couple days ago, and I remembered it, and I posted it, I think, on TikTok. But I still have them, which I think is a good thing. They're not as frequent. Hey, Anthony, I think I remember you. Anthony, you're from up north somewhere, right? And I don't know if that's a thumbs up or a middle finger. I can't tell because I'm old and I'm blind. But either way, hello. So, yeah, so I've had dreams recently, and my dreams correlate really to what's going on in life, even though I don't need it because the dreams seem very bland and they don't seem to have a definitive path. But when I look up the symbols and things in it, it's definitely in line. Hey, William, what's up? And that's another thing I need to work on, languages. I really do. I recently got thrown into a situation. As y'all know, I like to dabble and dabble a little bit in Spanish and French and Korean, and I actually took some coursework. But I got thrown into a situation, and me living where I'm living now, I'm not exposed. I could be exposed, but I'm not because I'm such a loner. Whereas if I lived in South Florida somewhere, it's all around me. I can't miss it. But I got thrown into a situation where someone, I didn't ask for this. They threw me onto a person that spoke absolutely no English. And it took me by surprise because they didn't say that that's what they were doing. I was just thrown in. And so I was just like, what? And so when that happens, it's like you have to switch your brains and also switch your mouth to form. And it's just like I kind of panicked. I was like, oh my gosh. And I don't ever want to be in that situation. I want to be able to be thrown into things and it just seems all seamless. I don't want to look like a fool. So, especially if there's no need to, especially if you have skills and talents not to have that happen. So, with that being said, some of the things, y'all haven't seen me in a while, so we're catching up right now. So, some of the things over the past year that y'all are not aware of, I started working on the two things that I said I was working on. I don't know if I should speak on that too much, even though I'm very transparent. There are some parts where your heart or your spirit tells you worldly wisdom. Back down off of that for a minute. So, but yeah, been through a lot. But anyways, I need to get this stuff done. I love y'all. It's going on 9 o'clock now. Need to get stuff down. So my goal for this hour is to get all these weeds up that's growing through the cracks in the sidewalk. I probably need to purchase some ant stuff to, because there's real bad ants. Right now, my car got totaled. So right now, it's not a big issue. But when I used to park right where that hump is, where you can see that the weeds, there's an ant hill. And for some reason, the back of my car would be right there, and I would step in it, and it would cause, y'all can see, it would cause, you can see like these little bites, and they were real red and big, but it would be an anthill, and I would step right in it, and those ants ate me alive, almost like the cartoon. I think it was Itchy and Scratchy or something, where the ants like ate the person alive. That's kind of where I kind of was. But yes, I'm gonna get started on this. I love you guys. Feel free to play your own background music. I can't play any here because I will get copyright copyrighted. But you guys will see a lot of me. With the accidents talked about. Whoops, excuse me, right here on this side, I'm surprised I can still walk, but that's why I say it's a lot of things I can't put. But on this side here, the airbag hit me, and so this whole side should have been crushed. Crushed. It hurt so bad. But I want to say some other things about life in general. Whatever you can do for yourself, do for yourself. People are not going to have as vested an interest in you and your goals as you are. Just because somebody has a title doesn't mean that they have earned um, have earned whatever prestige or whatever comes with the title. If you look at judges, police officers, there was a judge. I don't even want to say direct things, but a situation where they might say when they have their publishings or whatever that they have all these great intentions, but when you go, they're basically doing the doing the equivalent of somebody reading from a script. They're not really managing the situation. They're reading from a script and doing whatever it is that they're told. They're being paid robots. So but with that being said, I encourage you to, whenever you do things, whether it's for your job, for you personally, think about what you do before you do it. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing make sense? I've had an employer tell me previously that, if something doesn't make sense, that means something's wrong. So if you find yourself in situations where you're doing things that seem to be counter against what you're supposed to be doing, and that's what you're being advised to do or being pushed to do, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Something's not right, and it's time to go. And I always encourage, especially in this time and age, and I think a lot of people, young people, really are on point with it, that if you can, please start your own business. As soon as possible. If you're a person that has great charisma and you have longevity at your job, still do it. I think many people already know this, but I'm saying this because this is something that, you know, perhaps in the background but you don't really practice because it's not preached to you by the outside world. But please do it. Find yourself your own sweet spot outside of your place of employments, whatever, whether you're great charisma and you have longevity at your job, or whether you're one of those people that really it's not for you, but you hop. But please do. Because in this world that we live in, I think the goal is to develop yourself and grow yourself. And it's very hard to do that if you're always in a position where you're trying to please someone else. Because sometimes pleasing someone else may not be in alignment with bettering you or developing you. So that being said, I am going to get to doing this because this is stuff that needs to be done. I plan to be out here all day, all night long until 7 o'clock p.m. or 8 o'clock. Is it 7? Yeah, 7 for sunset, about p.m. when I can no longer be out here because it's dark and I have plenty of inside work to do too. So that's what it is. Anyways, peace. I'm going to start working on stuff. This belongs to the neighbors on the other side, and their maintenance. I'm gonna kick that dog. The maintenance, excuse me. Their maintenance is done by whoever the landlord is over there, and they don't ever do it. But it starts to creep over here, so I end up. All right, what's going on here, my friend? Ooh, I need you to work. What is wrong with you, my dear friend? Maybe I don't have enough oil in it. Let's see. So, as you can see, little weeds can come up to be really big things. And I thought I was doing pretty good. But then when I pull that last one out, there are like huge worms in there. So that is going to stay exactly where it is. Oh my God.